everybody. I want to welcome you to the first edition of Catching Up with Cassie J. And in the title, it says it itself. I am Cassie J. I want to let you guys know that some of you might recognize me from another channel, which is Ladies Who Kiki, where I do reviews and other things with my homegirl, Dana B. Yes, the channel does still exist. We are still doing reviews. However, for those who do follow us, you do know that we have mentioned that I am the reality queen and I love reality TV and other shows. And some of the shows me and Dana haven't agreed on doing reviews on. And you guys have been requesting for us to do reviews on some of the shows. So I decided to go ahead this year and start another channel and to do those reviews and on some of the shows that you guys are requesting and on some of the shows that I continue to watch and love, and just so you guys can get that commentary and those comments and just my 2 cents on these shows, because I really do really love reality TV and it's just so much out there. So I just want to continue to get into it. So today is one of those days that I'm going to get into a show that I've been watching since the beginning. It started with Love After Lockup. Now, they did their spin-off / second part, which is Life After Lockup, where they follow these couples now that their significant others are out of jail. I think these shows are very interesting. It's in the same arena as like the 90 Day Fiancés, the Married at First Sight type shows. It's not something that I would ever participate in, like one of these shows. But, people find love with inmates. So, who am I to judge? Well, actually, I am here to at least review, not judge, but review. So, that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to be reviewing Life After Lockup. This is the first episode of the, I guess you can say, second season of it. And it's called Skeletons in the Closet. So it's following a total of 7 couples. You have Lacey, Shane, and John. They were from the last season of the Love After Lockup. So there's newbies to this whole group of people. Then you have Marcelino and Brittany. You have Sarah, Michael, and Megan. Sarah, Michael, and Megan are one of my favorites because the mess from them last season, I'm ready to see how this is going to unfold for them. And you have Andrea and Lamar. I also like Andrea and Lamar too. You have Clint and Tracy. I love Clint and Tracy. Motherfucking crack mom. That is going to be an infamous line. Like, it's going down in the history books of reality TV for me. Then you have Charlene. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. Charlene. Y'all will correct me in the comment section. Charlene and Josh. They're a new couple too. I'm still adjusting to them from last season. And you have Angela and Tony. Yeah, they're interesting too. All these couples really are interesting, to be honest, because like I said, this whole concept of dating somebody in jail and all that is an interesting concept. But nonetheless, I'm here for all the couples. I'm here for this whole show. And the best way to review this is just by going from couple to couple, because if you watch the show, they just bounce from couple to couple to couple to couple all the way through. But it's just best to just go down the list and just cover everybody versus me trying to go through the show as it was going, because they're not tied to each other in any kind of way. It's not one of those shows. So the first couple I'm going to do is Angela and Tony. So she was the first one on the scene when the show opened up. And it opened up with her burning up Tony's stuff because she's went through his phone. And she sees that he's texting these other girls and like hooking them up with hotel rooms because he works at the hotel. And in exchange for him hooking them up with hotel rooms, he getting a little something on the side. And I ain't talking about no money, honey. At least if you was getting some money, I'd been okay. But you getting a little sexual healing, as Marvin Gaye say. That we got a problem with. And, you know, he had just got out of trouble last season with doing that. Like, you just got back in the house. I just took you back. And you still doing this? You know what, sir? This ain't gonna work. We can't be together because you haven't learned your lesson. Now, the thing about Angela is her best friend is in love with her, and he told her, like, he proposed to her, like, I will marry you. You don't need to be with him. I will be that man for you. I can help you get rid of Tony. She was like, I love Tony. I want to be with Tony. That is the love of my life. Okay, love your life, don't love you back. So I'm going to need you to let Tony go. It's a wrap. He don't want you. He just need a place to stay. He needs somewhere to parole to. So Angela is in here chain smoking, talking to the producers, because the producers like, what's going on? And she was like, I tried. He got up in the middle of the night. He went and slept on the couch, and he had that phone, and I just knew something was up. So he got a lock on it. I took the SIM card out of his phone. I don't know the last time I had a SIM card for my phone. So I don't know what kind of phones y'all got, what kind of phone service. I don't know. It's been a long time since I had a SIM card for my phone. So that just threw me a little bit. But she took the SIM card out of his phone, put it in her phone, and seen everything he was trying to hide. Now, the crazy thing was, she was like, I let him get up, go to work, said nothing. But when he comes back, he got to go. So he comes back home, thinking that everything's great. She's like, it's over. You got to go. And he's like, no, it's not over. No, it's not. We're going to work this out. And I didn't touch him. So you admit that you was doing something. So it's true. You was doing something. She was like, no, it's over. Get your stuff. He was like, I don't have nowhere to go. She said, go on with your little girl. She calls the girl up on the phone and was like, listen, I'm sending Tony your way. She's like, okay, that's fine. There you go. You got somewhere to go. Now, that was a bold move to make. Like, that's something that I probably would do. Call up your side chick. You got somewhere to be. So go ahead and go. I found you a home. So he was just sitting there with like a smirk on his face, like. But then the real reason why he was like he couldn't go was because that's where he was paroled to, and that's where he was supposed to be. So if they ever come looking for him and he not there, he going back to jail. So that's the real reason why he don't want to go. It ain't because he don't want to be with old girl. It's because that's where he need to be. So she kicked him out, put him on that bike, sent him on up the road. She was like, it's done. But when they show the preview for the rest of the season, she take them back. They over there trying to work stuff out. So we going to see what happens to them later on in the season. Now, Marcelino and Brittany, they're having another baby. Now, I knew that Brittany had other kids. I knew she had given up some of her kids for adoption. But when she had went to have her ultrasound, and they was like, do you have other kids? She was like, yeah. And they said, well, what number is this? She said 5. I said, whoo. Jesus, that's a lot of kids. So 2 were given up for adoption. So she has Giovanni. That was number 3. And then they have the baby girl. And now they have this one, but they're not revealing the gender. So I guess they're going to do a gender reveal. And she was just kind of a little nervous because this one was not planned by any means. They were doing every preventative measure to not have this baby. But it came. And they're just kind of like, it's going to be kind of a financial decision they're going to have to make. It's going to have a financial impact is what I'm trying to say on them to have this. This is going to be 3 children now that they're going to have to take care of. But I thought it was really sweet. They had a scene where they told Giovanni that, you're going to be a big brother again. And, are you excited? Are you prepared? And, he was like, yeah, if it's another girl, now I have 2 sisters I have to look after, and I have to watch over two babies, and it was real cute little moment. And I'm really happy for Marcelino and Brittany. You know, from where they came to where they are now, I'm really happy to see them grow and to develop this family that they have. So I'm happy for them, and I'm happy to see where they're gonna go. I do know that they're gonna have some issues later on in the season, with him drinking and other things. So we'll see how they unfold as well. Um, so the title of the Skeletons in the Closet, I was like, what's the skeleton? So Andrea is a part of the title itself. She's still in Utah because it left off last season with her and Lamar going to visit Utah, and she basically was trying to trap him into staying because Lamar is, you know, California all day. He's not leaving LA. That's where he wants to be. He's not leaving. And she kind of brought him there saying, we're going to visit. He was like, cool, I don't mind you going to visit your friends. It's where you are from. I don't have a problem. But then once she gets there, she's like, no, we're staying. I'm going to find you a job here. I already don't call my old job. This is where we're staying. He was like, I'm not staying here. F you and the family. I am going back home. I don't care. I'm leaving. And so now they're living in two different states. And she's upset because she feels like, you know, she's failed at her marriage because her and her husband aren't living together. And her friends had told her, well, you can't be dishonest to your husband. You should have told your husband what you were wanting to do. But she knew if she had told him, the reason why I'm really taking you up here is because I'm trying to convince you to stay. She knew he wasn't going. She knew he wasn't going to want to go at all. He would have been like, no, I don't want to go visit because I'm not trying to stay. So she decided to tell her friends the truth about her youngest daughter, Priscilla, that Lamar is the real baby father. And they was like, how? They was like, well, you know, Priscilla's 5 and me and Lamar have been dating for 7 years. And they was like, yes. They said, but he's been in prison for like 12, 15, 20 years or whatever. And they was like, it was conjugal visits. They was like, well, you have to be married to have conjugal visits. They was like, she was married. That's what I thought too when she first said it. I said, oh, she was married, didn't tell nobody. And she was like, no, we wasn't married. And they was like, well, how did you get pregnant? So she said they paid for closet time. Meaning literally that you paid them to let you get in the closet and have sex. People. I can't live this life. I can't live this life. I can't. That's all. I can't. I don't have no other words. So you can see Joe Chow in the closet. Talking about coming out of the closet. Like, what in the world? Whew. I have to sit with this for a minute. Like, I don't... So, yeah, that's how the baby was born. Made, conceived, whatever. She had the baby. That was it. Friend was upset. Like, I don't know what else to say, people. Like, I don't know what else to say about that. Like, I don't know. I don't know. She had the baby. So her friend was like, this is the first time you've ever kept a secret from me. Like, and I'm like, so are you more upset that she kept the secret from you, or are you upset about the secret she kept? Because I would have been upset about the secret you kept. I'm not even mad about you keeping a secret. I'm upset about the secret. Yeah. So, Shane, Lacey, and John, the new couple. The other new couple, it was 2 other couples that we didn't see. We didn't see Clint and Tracy. And we also didn't see Charlene or Cheryl. and Josh. We didn't see those two couples this episode either. But Shane, Lacey, and John. So Shane and Lacey are married, and Shane wants to have a baby. Shane is 22 years old. Shane is very immature. Shane also does not have a job. Lacey also already has 3 children. And they go to the doctor to see about her getting her tubes undone because she had her tubes tied. And at the doctor's office, the doctor's asking these questions, and Shane is like, oh, we have sex, 10 times a day. And I'm like, and she's like, doctor's like, every day? He was like, yes, every day. Okay. That's awful lot. And then the doctor's like, oh, okay. And she was like, are you employed? How do you work like that? And he was like, I'm full of the time employed in her bedroom. You sound stupid. Stupid. How are you trying to have a baby with no job? And then he just continued. He just continued to talk, and he's like, oh, what's an embryo? The doctor looked like, oh, that's when the egg is fertilized by the sperm. That's what an embryo is. Jesus, they're not paying me enough for this. Like, that's how she's looking. She's like, what is happening here? And then he said, so when I go in here and do this in the room, to get the sperm, do you have material back there for me? I need material with a lot of pictures. Okay, sir. Yeah, we got pictures back there. And then Lacey was like, don't worry, you can just look at the pictures of me. Okay. She's just trying to help. She was just like, please don't. I don't want you to keep looking at him like he's dumb. Even though he is. So they decide that they're moving because they're going to try to have this baby. They need a bigger house. But the day that they're moving, the stuff is not packed. I don't know if any of you guys have ever moved. Usually when you move, you have all your stuff in boxes or totes, containers of some kind. They have clothes just in regular clothes baskets, just sitting on dressers. We're just putting random stuff in the truck, on the truck. Stuff hasn't been broken down to go on the truck. Lacey was like, I paid for everything, so the least you could have did was pack it up. Like, I'm not moving nothing. I'm just paying. I'm just writing the checks. I'm just swiping the card. I'm not moving nothing, packing up nothing, unpacking nothing. That's your job, because you don't work. A part of me is like, I get it, because I pay for all this. What are you doing to contribute? But the other part of me was like, because I'm paying for all this, I need it to be done right so that it's done in a timely manner. Because the more time that it takes because it wasn't packed up is the more money it's costing me. So I'm going to need for you to come on. Let's hurry this up. And the day that they're moving, Shane's up drinking liquor. And I'm like, so you're going to be drunk when you're moving? See, when you got, a job and responsibilities, you just kind of move differently and you do things differently because you have responsibilities. But when you don't have a responsibility, your priorities are out of whack. So Lacey calls John, who's her ex, because she said that he had been texting her and she was concerned because he had basically told her, oh, I'm just lost without you, and if I don't have you, I'm just going to die, and now he's not answering her phone calls, and so she's so scared that he might be over there dead, and no, what it really is she thought the grass was green on the other side with Shane. And now that she don't got married to Shane and she see that, oh, the grass is not greener. Now she missing that old thing and she want that old thing back because she was like, when I was with John, he worked. He kept some money coming in his house and I didn't have to do all this hard work I'm having to do. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to play house with this man no more. I want a real man in my house. That's what's going on. So we're going to see how that's going to work out for this threesome here. Now to my other favorite threesome couple. Megan, Sarah, and Michael. I want to know what it is about this Michael guy that got these women like, I want to be with him. Because so Michael decides now that he's off tether, house arrest, he's going to go ahead and go to Texas to see Megan. Now, on his way in the taxi, he gets a phone call from another girl. It's not Megan, it's not Sarah. And so the producers is like, that's not Megan. And he's like, yeah, it's another girl. She just caught at a bad time. Clearly. They was like, well, who's that? Oh, it's just a girl. Now, every time they show the pictures of everybody, it shows like what their status is, whether they're like on parole or what their charges were, if they're working or whatever. So I noticed that Megan's now says that she's a singer. Last season, she was like a home health aide or something. She's 30 years old and she has now become a singer. Interesting. Just caught that. I just noticed it. I was wondering if anybody else noticed that she's a singer now. So he just rolls up, gets out the taxi, knocks on the door, and she comes and she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I told you I was going to come see you when I got off, house arrest. And she was like, oh, okay. Okay, I mean, you couldn't hit nobody up, let nobody know. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not the type of person that opens the door when I'm not expecting anybody. So if you come knock on my door, I'm not expecting you. I don't tend to open the door. You need to call me, text me, notify me in some kind of way, and let me know you're on your way here. Because if you do not, you'll be sitting outside. Because I just don't open the door for people. So he's looking at her and like, oh, what you all dressed up for? She was like, me and B was about to go out. You want to come? And he was like, I mean, if you okay with that, sure. I want to see where this thing gonna go between me and you. Let's just take it day by day. She said, cool, let's go. Now, it does show Sarah back at home with the kids, and it shows Aviana tried to call her dad, and her dad didn't answer the phone, and she was like, he never answers the phone for me. And it was sad because Sarah was like, do you want me to pretend to be daddy? And she was like, yeah. And she's sitting there talking to her mom and was just saying how much she missed her dad and, saying that he doesn't come and see her. And it was a sad moment to realize, what we kind of already knew, is that he don't spend time with his daughters like he should. And she's getting to that point now where she realizes that you're not around. And yeah, he's going to need to do something. So it's like you're not financially providing for them, nor are you even being a presence in their life. So you're just absent all the way around. So now Michael and Megan get to the restaurant or the bar where B is waiting. Megan didn't tell B that Michael's showing up. So he stands up and he sees her. He gives her a hug, and then he sees him and he's like, oh, what's up? They sit down and he's kind of like, nice to meet you finally, I guess. And he was like, oh, yeah. And he's like, so what are you doing here? Like, what's this about? oh, I'm here. I told her I wanted to see her. Just see where it's gonna go and whatnot. B starts grilling him. I love B. Like, that's the kind of friend you want in your life. The friend that got your best interest, don't care about your feelings when it comes to get, about your best interest at this kind of situation. And he's just like, so how do we know that this is real? How do we know that you're telling us the truth because you don't lie before? And he was like, I mean, I ain't lie. He said, I mean, you was married and you didn't tell us. He said, but I did tell her. He said, no, you didn't tell her. We found out. He was like, well, when it came up, I told her then. He said, yeah, after she found out, then you told her. But you didn't come out and tell her. She had to find out. So how do we know that you're going to be honest now? And he was just like, well, that's what I'm saying. We're moving forward now. That's the only way that this can work out is if we just move forward. And he was just kind of like, how do we move forward if we don't know if you're going to be honest? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, why you don't get it? He was like, Megan can do so much better than forehead. Like, and he did. He has like the biggest forehead. And I'm like, he's like, you're just not an honest person. And I don't understand why she's even doing this with you. And then you could tell that Michael was getting aggravated by being questioned. And he was like, I don't see kind of like why he feel like I need his approval when I really don't. And that's his problem. One of his many problems. You don't understand that you messed up and that because you messed up, you do have to gain trust with more than just her. Her family don't like you and her friends and her circle has an issue with you. And you do have to deal with them. You're going to have to deal with her dad at some point. You're not going to be able to continue to be in this girl's life and not deal with them at some point. I know people like that. They feel like, oh, I'm going to continue to be around you and I'm not going to deal with them. She close to them. These are her people and you're going to have to eventually deal with them in some kind of capacity. It's not going to work. Especially if she's living with her daddy. You're going to have to see him. So, I mean, Michael just basically feels like he don't owe nobody no explanation but Megan. But you're not even really giving her no real explanation either. You still kind of just going around. Because when she asked him about the divorce papers, he was like, oh, so you divorced? And he was like, I mean, we in the process. I don't have the papers with me right now. So you really still didn't come down here with nothing. So you still pretty much empty-handed. So I'm like, okay, people, I'm excited the show is back. It is looking very interesting. I'm going to be here for all of the review, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. We're going to see how this is going to play out. I'm also going to be doing Love and Hip Hop Miami because Jocelyn is going to be back. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And I just thank everyone for the continued support of this channel and the ladies who kiki. And we will see you on my next review and our next review.